I said worship is to honor God with extravagant love and extreme submission. To honor God with extravagant love and extreme submission. Luke chapter 7 verse 37 to 40. Worship is to honor God. I said there is no way you say you worship somebody or you worship God and you don't love him. Not just love him, but you must love him extremely. Not just love him extremely, you must show it extravagantly. You must be able to show to all and sundry that you love God with all of your heart. In Luke chapter 7 verse 37, let's read together. Everybody want to go. And behold, a woman in the city which was a sinner. Let's read together. When she knew that Jesus sat at meat in the Pharisee's house, brought an alabaster box of ointment. Yes, 38. And stood at his feet behind him weeping, and began to wash his feet and with tears, and did wipe them with the hairs of his head, and kissed his feet, and anointed them with ointment. Yes. Now when the Pharisee which had bidden him saw it, he spake within himself, saying, this man, if he were a prophet, would have known who and what manner of woman this is. Verse 40. That toucheth him, for she is a sinner. Verse 40. And Jesus answering said unto him, Simon, I have somewhat to say unto thee. And he said unto him, Master saith. Now this is the question. This woman was a sinner, but this woman came to worship God. Have you noticed in the Bible and in physical life that God goes after worshipers, not just after righteous people? You can deem yourself as holy, you can call yourself righteous, and God is not in league with you because you are not a worshiper. She took an alabaster flask of precious ointment, poured it on the head of Jesus. That was not all. She used her hair. Even the Bible says the glory of a woman is her hair. So she took her glory and began to rub the feet of Jesus. I listened to a man of God one time when I was growing up. He said she was romancing the feet of Jesus. She was loving God, and she was so extravagant about it that she showed everybody. There is no way you love God that you don't show people. Oh yeah, are you hearing me at all? So it's to honor with extravagant love and extreme submission. What is worship? Is the priority we place on who God is in our lives, and where God is on our list of priorities. The question you need to constantly ask yourself is, where is God in my life? Is God number one, or is God number two and above? What is the priority you have placed on God in your life? If you love your family more than God, you are not worshiping God. I told you last week, I'm going to say it again. I love God above my family. I even love God above his church. When all else fails, the only guaranteed person that will not fail is God. Only. Your brother may mess you up. Your sister will mess you up. Friends will leave you at the hour of need. That is when you will know that the only guaranteed person is God. I remember we had a president in this nation some years back, and I love the man. I'm not a politician, but I have a personal love for the guy, because he's a man of peace. So you will understand the president I'm talking about. And when it was evident that he was losing, people began to decamp. when it was evident, people that used to say ranka dede, they started saying you cannot be the person again. Because they were in his life for what they could get, not for relationship. So listen to me. You need to constantly check Matthew 6:33. Is that working in your life? Seek ye first. It didn't say seek ye first your job. It didn't say seek ye first your child. It says seek ye first. About people that say I didn't come to church because of my child. Are you saying God should take the child so that you can come to him? Seek ye first the kingdom. Some people tell you, I got to strike a deal on Sunday morning. How can you strike a deal on Sunday morning? Are you seeking God first? Seek ye first. On your list of priorities is God number one. That's in your worship. If God is number one, then you are worshiping him. Let me shock you. I've said this example many times in church. If as a lady you are already late for service and getting to the road, you suddenly remember that you have not made up your face and you go back home, God is not your number one. The people you want to impress are your number one. You know, some of us think people are looking at you, not knowing nobody is looking at your face. Why? They have their own challenges and you have yours. I need to make up. You need to make up because you are not made up before. You are not complete. Make up means complete what was not completed. That doesn't mean don't use. Who is God on your priority list? If you step out of your house without praying, God is not on your priority list. You set out on a journey without putting God into it, God is not on your priority list. You collected income of any kind, salary, blessing, this, and the first thing you don't remember your tithe, God is not on your priority list. Some of us have not paid tithe for 11 months. Maybe we should ask our medical personnel amidst us how much. I read a story of a man that was taken to a hospital nearly dead. They needed to give him gas. Very rich man. After they gave him gas, that is, they put him on oxygen, he revived, came back, and then began to cry. They said, you are okay, you are crying. Why are you crying? He said, because I suddenly remember all the years I've been living. If I calculate the amount of oxygen they gave me, that is what I am owing God, which I have never given him. He suddenly remembered. Maybe he had stayed 60 years, 70 years, but God was not on his priority list. That's not worship. The Father is seeking for true worshipers, and you cannot be a true worshiper if God is not number one on your priority list. God is not number one. What's the third thing about worship? Worship is a matter of the heart expressed through a lifestyle of holiness. A matter of the heart expressed through a life of holiness. How can I say I am worshiping God? I am permanently living inside sin. I don't know about you. When I want to sin, my heart begins to beat faster. Anybody like that? I want to see whether we are the same. Some people's heart has been seared with a hot iron. Nothing moves them again. When they are sinning, they are very comfortable. But some of us, if I want to lie now, I will just, my heart will be beating fast. Does it happen to you? You are supposed to be, you notice what you are watching, what you should not be watching. Your heart will be beating faster. Let me see. I want to be sure. Okay, some of you, your heart never beat again. Everything is normal to you. It's a matter of the heart expressed through a life of holiness. If you are going to be a God chaser, and if God is going to chase you, You have to express it through holiness. Hebrews chapter 12, I think verse 14. It said, follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord. If you cannot see God, you cannot be where he is. Worship is to follow peace and holiness. A life of holiness. You cannot live a life of holiness and you are keeping malice. When you are not Sister Alice. I'll be keeping malice. I won't talk to my husband. What of if Jesus comes? I mean, you will go to hell because you will not talk to your husband. I remember the last assignment I was, or the first assignment I came in full time in 2004. In 2005 or thereabout, that church brought a man of God called Rev Ekechuku. I can never forget. And this was his story, PD. Him and his wife got involved in a fight. It was so bad that the wife gave him a dirty slap. Manana Godola. For an Igbo man, that is an abomination. Even for Yoruba, is abomination country. But for Igbo man, is abomination. Their own is worse. I mean, you slap an Oguefi, you are in trouble. Your entire family will drop goat, drop something to redeem you back first. You can ask any typical Igbo man. You slap him. A man that paid your dowry. A man of God. But he got angry. He had forgotten the scripture that said, be angry but do not sin. So if you cannot manage your anger that will lead to sin, then don't be angry. Are you hearing me at all? And he left the house in anger. He left the house in anger. And on the road he had an accident and died on the spot. Shalabalagada. And when they put him inside an ambulance, he said he saw himself coming out of his body and two angels carrying him. And they took him when they got to heaven. And they told him, you cannot enter here because you are keeping malice with your wife. He had kept holy all this while, but one singular event nullified him. Please stretch your hand to me. May you not make a mistake that will mess up your destiny. I don't like your amen. May you not make a mistake that will wreck your eternity. Never forgot his story. Died. The same wife he fought, they called. The same wife. They called the wife. The wife came there. Said, take him to the mortuary. The mortuary in their village, from what he described, was not a proper mortuary. Maybe it was more. Maybe maybe they put it somewhere else. Then they said, we can't keep him here more than 3 or 4 days. Now go and bury your husband. The same woman that he fought carried him in a coffin. And as they were going, she was reciting Hebrews 11:35. You know Hebrews 11:35? He said, and the women received their dead back to life. And she began to stand upon that one word and say, I receive you back. I'm here to prophesy. Whatever has died in your life, I receive it back now. I feel this thing all over me. Whatever has been dead in your family, I receive it back now. I receive it back now. I receive it back now. Sit down there. As she began to recite, the women received their dead. He said, and the women received. He didn't say the men received, the women. Women, you have a lot of things on your hands. Don't allow your man to die. Don't allow your child to die. I am here to prophesy. You will not bury any of your children. You will not bury your spouse. You will not bury anybody close to you. Receive them back to life. 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 I said Hebrews 11:35. The same woman. Women, it's not even one. Receive their dead. Raised to life again. I don't know why I'm dwelling here. What the enemy told you that it is dead in 2020, I command it to rise again. I command it to live again. I command it to rise again. They will receive their dead back to life. Your business comes back to life. I collect back my prayer. Where they said your womb is dead, I receive it back to life. Your health back to life. As you stood upon this word, women receive their dead back to life. Don't forget holiness, worship. And when they were going to bury, she said, I can't bury my husband. She saw a poster in Onitsha. One of the fathers of the faith, the very honorable Reverend Renard Bonke, was preaching in that church in Onitsha. And she told the person driving the mortuary van or whatever you call it, ambulance, go into that church. I can't allow you to die now. Oh, I speak over you as my children. I do not permit you to die this year. I can't allow you to die now. You cannot die now. You will not die now. Sit down. I feel this thing all over me. I need to get out of your face. I need to get out of your face. It's not in my notes, so don't think I prepare. I just pray and then I ask God what to say. When they got to the gate of the church, and of course I assume like our church here, you get to the gate, they saw dead body. They said you can't enter the church. They said no, you can't enter church. Even the gateman, no, protocol. Sometimes don't allow protocol to stop you. If you want to get something from God, you learn to press, you learn to burst in, you learn to break protocols. And when they say you can't take to the church, they said, okay, you can take to the, what do you call under the staircase of a church? Basement. So they took him with the coffin. And one woman kept saying, I received him back to life. You cannot die. By this time, listen, they've already, what do they do to dead bodies? They've already embalmed him. So we're talking of ice block is already in the system. If you know the meaning of embalmment, they've taken certain things out of his body. He was empty inside. But listen to me. If the manufacturer has not given up on you, don't give up on yourself. The doctor gave you a medical report that was negative. I am here joining my faith with yours. A brand new organ is delivered to your body. Receive their dead. Receive their dead back to life. Sit down, sit down, sit down. I need to get out of your face. And I'm not preaching, I'm just supposed to be teaching. Receive their dead back to life. And stayed in the basement. Opened the coffin. Embalmed the husband. blocked everywhere. The man of God did not know he was there. Because listen to me, the day God wants to visit you, he can bypass your man of God. Are you hearing me at all? Your faith is not in the man of God. Your faith is in the God of the man of God. Are you hearing me? The man of God, Renaboke, was still preaching. He was still preaching. Then the woman was saying, I received my dead back to life. And then maybe in a short while, a body that had been dead for about 4 days, he sneezed. When he sneezed, prayer warriors now jack up their head. They now began to pray. The truth is, they are not the one that did the healing. The healer had bypassed them. Listen, the kind of miracle God will give you, no man will be able to take the glory. No man. No man will say it is me. Oh man. And to show you truly that they had embalmed him, sit down, I need to get out of your face. When he woke up, they got him up to sit in the coffin. The thing was out. He asked for water. You know why he asked for water? Everything was dry. He needed to take water, and they began to push out that thing. Stretch your hand to me. I need to say this in Yoruba first before I say it in English. Where life kept you, where men kept you, and they say you cannot rise, God will push you out. Tell your neighbor, I'm rising again. I don't know, I go to shout it on your neighbor, I'm rising again. Okay, scream it on the person, I'm rising again. Why did I say all that story? You cannot talk about worship without looking at the lifestyle of holiness. Now, if you are moving and you are not living a life of holiness, one of the things the fasting season does is to bring us back to order. Self-examine yourself. The Bible said somewhere, it said, examine yourself whether you are still in the faith. Do regular examinations on yourself. Don't let somebody tell you you are the one. No. Do exam. Am I still in the faith? 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 Number 4, what is worship? If God is looking for true worshipers, PD, me and you have to be concerned about who a worshiper is so that we can become that person. So that we can become that person. One time this year, one of my biological daughters said, I noticed that these 2-3 people, you seem to be fond of them. Why? One of them asked me. I thank God for curious children. I don't want to have dominant dummies as children. I don't want to have idiots. People that can't ask you questions. Ask me. There's nothing too big for their mouth, sincerely. Under God. If I can't answer it now, I will answer it later. If it is more than my experience, I will use my spiritual capacity and sagacity. Like when one of them said the boy is talking to me, I said, it's okay. But that is not what is needed now. I said, next time when he's talking to you, begin to preach. Is that what you need now? You need to get born again. I said, you will see the boy will never talk to you again. Some of you say, Pastor, they tell you that. Yes. Who should they tell? Is it you? But Pastor, they are pastor's children. They are children. Forget pastor in front. They are false what? Children. And because of many of you, I don't want them to be pastor's children. I just want them to be children. So that they don't pretend. You say, pastor's children, when they see me coming, they begin to. None of them does it. Can't walk in my house. Can't walk. But we are pastor students now. So when you wake up in the morning, you should wake up with. Oh boy, you're behaving like a cock. I don't need all those kind of stupid children. Ask me. He said, why do you seem to have a fondness for 2-3 people? One of them is the UK. Some people are here. He said, I noticed the way, and I sat her down. I said, number one, the way they talk to me. Honor. Not many people talk to me that way. I said, so because they talk to me that way, there is nothing they ask me that I don't give them. The same thing with God. Some of us are so loquacious. You've taken God as your padima. You want to worship, there is no order, there is no honor. Just do anything anyhow. We're Pentecostal. You're a Penterascal. You're not a Pentecostal. You're not led by the Spirit of God. Jesus said, there is nothing I do without seeing my Father doing it. Yes, sir. So the question is, where did you learn your own from? No, look, I take worship to even extreme. Let me shock you. I can't wear saggy pants before God. To be showing your dirty boxers that you have not washed for 2.5 weeks. How many presidents of the United States have you seen them wearing saggy pants? No, pick one. No, tell me one. One. Prime Minister of England. You saw him drew the baggy hair. The trouser normally sizes you. You now put it to a place, it doesn't size you. You need help. Psychiatric help. Then you come to God. What are you carrying? No. What are you? Some people, look, the way I worship God, you don't joke around. I grew up in Catholic church. Yes, sir. There are some things we are not permitted to do. Yes, sir. Until today, it has not left me. Yes, sir. You can't come to God's house and be talking about. Yes, sir. Talking about. Let's finish service. What are you talking about? I told you somebody came to church with a demon. I don't know whether I told you that one. Got to the door. The protocol officer was there, but now they won't drop it on you. And the guy was there. But okay, I mean, let the person hold the demon until we finish the service. Then I will collect it. They finished service. They didn't see the guy again. So you worship God with no seriousness. You worship God with levity. You play around, you say you are worshiping God. You see, when worship hits you hard, you can't even recognize that there is somebody sitting by your side. When it hits you hard. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You'll be weeping, you don't know why. Yes, sir. I've wept many times. I didn't even know why. Can you say you worship God? They know me, my family. Once I enter the car, I don't want to hear noise. I put on worship. How many hours? No matter what. If I do that, I can't be gossiping about you. Yes, sir. Number 4. Was true worship. Exaggerated love for God that is non-negotiable. Are you hearing me, my brother? Non-negotiable exaggeration of worship. I love this God. And it's not negotiable. I love him to the point that nobody can dissuade me. You can't change my mind. Let me shock you. When I came in full time in 2004, I was earning a salary above 100, going to 200 or something. And then a company was going to call me for $500,000, 2004. Per month. Minus other egunjes. And then the church I wanted to serve said they are going to pay me $25,000 a month. No, you know, it's not even in the current. It's not even in the next. They divided what I was currently earning that was not enough for me into 4. 25,000. Sister Clara, will you have taken it? I like you, Daddy. She's my sister. We don't lie in our village. We don't know how to lie. Oh. Even if you are killing us, we'll tell you the truth. On those state, Ekiti state, you are killing us, we'll still tell you the truth. Oniranu, we'll still tell you. I love my state. I love them. In fact, some of us, it's because of our mouth that we're where we are. God will tell you the truth. We'll tell you the truth. 25,000, Sister Aniete. I was not married. I was a young man. I was living in a room and a self-contained Mbadore that was 200,000 in a year. So even if you add 25,000 times 10, that's 250. Then add another 2, that's 300. So out of the Sister Toyi, they paid me the 25,000 total once. For salary to welcome him. So I was very happy. From the next month, 2K, 5K salary. They will give me. They say, write it. Oh, it's your salary. Mogbe. I was coming from a place that my medical allowance a year was 75,000. That if I don't use it, I can commute to cash. 25,000. And I want it to settle in your mind. 25,000. And you remove tithe. That, in fact, the pastor was very, very dangerous. If he doesn't trust you, he will remove it from source. That if he has given you money up to 22,000, he will say the balance is actually your tithe for this month. So it's the next month that you are due for another salary. And I was there. In the midst of it, he called me. He said, when do you want to marry? I said, with this salary, it will take a minimum of 5 years. I will need to so gather. I will be gathering. I will so gather this salary. I won't touch it all. Then I will marry in 5 years' time. He said, Dipo, I came in full time, 1st of October 2004. He said, Dipo, you are getting married next year in April. I said, are you the one getting married? No, but I don't get it. 25,000. But I love God. I stayed. We didn't have any debt in our wedding. We didn't have any. Whatever I don't give you, you don't need. If, for instance, I don't give you water, that means you have taken too much water in your house. The water should be enough for the food I give you. I don't send your face. That's right. Currently, I see some of my children begin to marry that way. I'm getting excited. I say, hey, people are now listening to me. Marry with only 2 people. Call the pastor on phone. Do Zoom. Bless us through Zoom. The Lord bless you. Stretch your hand to the screen. The Lord bless you. Your marriage is blessed. We are sending your certificate by dispatch. It will get to you in the evening. So make things easy for your life. If you love God, you can't be stranded. I don't know whether you just heard what I said. You can't be stranded. As of our 2 mothers came to us a night before our wedding. They said, do you have any other cost to be taken care of? I said, none. There was nothing. I was not trying to impress anybody. 3, 4 people came to sleep in my house so that they could pray. And I love that, to pray into the wedding. As the day we were going for the wedding, I held my door. They said, why? I said, pack your load and go. My wife is entering this house tonight. They said, I said, move. They said, are you not going to hotel? I said, this is hotel. Go, which hotel? This is the hotel. The hotel that we're living in, 2-bedroom palatial mansion that had only 1 mattress and 2.5 pots. What a joy. That was where I married. 25,000 naira. No debt. When a man's ways please the Lord, There's a way you love God. God covers your shame. I have gisted you many times. I didn't have ring. I told babe, go to Aja, buy rings of all colors. Those 50 naira ring. Buy all of them. Green, yellow, purple. The day you wear purple like today, you wear purple ring. The day we wear yellow, you wear yellow ring. 50 naira. I said, buy it. I cannot use ring. That is not gold. That's why you are broke. You are living beyond your means. You can't love God and not live below your means, not above it. There's nothing I have. None. I told my wife we are going for an engagement today. I said I need a shoe. I told one of my. She sent a picture. I said cost implication. When she sent it, I didn't reply for like 1 hour. He said, Daddy, yo. I said, when I saw the cost, I humbled myself. That this shoe is not for me. Must I keep myself? Who is looking at my leg? Are you looking at my leg? Did you come here to look at my leg? Look at the leg. Who send you? When you love God, some things die in you. Yes, love for material things. It doesn't exist. When I see somebody say, I cannot go to that church until I wear the latest. You don't love God. You are not a worshiper. Only. You don't, I must wear some. What must you wear? The day you die, they can't bury you with it. Why not settle it in your head? Why not settle it? You are a worshiper of God. There are certain things that will not trip you again. It will just trip you. You can't love God and love man the same way. Yes, sir. I'll tell some of you to worship here. You'll be looking at your gele. Then you'll be looking at your, I don't want my facials. I took time with Sister Clara. This cannot be happening to me. It can't be happening. Okay? Shut up. Shush! How can powder be superior to God? Powder. Why not buy dusting powder and dusting powder your face? He said, Pastor, you don't understand. When I was with Sister Clara, I did foundation. Then I put block work. It is 3 coaches. Then I put German floor on one face. In the last 17 days, what have you given God?